All right, first off, I'd like to welcome everybody. Appreciate everybody coming out to kick off fall camp. I can tell you we're extremely excited about today and about the beginning of our 2019 football season. Our guys have done an incredible job throughout this off season, stretching all the way back to January. The job that our coaches did in recruiting, the work that's went in with all the winter conditioning, summer conditioning with Coach Storms and his staff. So very grateful for the job that they did. To all of our trainers, support staff. I mean, it just was a great off season for our program. To our players, the commitment that they put in the workouts, the film study, what they've done. Really seen a lot of leadership emerge. That's been one of the things that we've pushed for as a coaching staff. We talked in the spring about being a coach-inspired but player-led football team, and I think that we're starting to see that really come into action, and that's going to be something that over the next 25 practices that really has to show up. And but I like this team. I like the group of young men that we have that are a part of it. It's going to be we're going to have to maximize every single day building up to August 31st. But the things that you hope to see in the off season, I think we've been able to accomplish. There's going to be a lot of competition. It's definitely the best depth that we have on our team that since I've been here. I think there's going to be battles just about at every position for starting roles, but also for guys that are going to put themselves in impactful positions. But it's definitely an exciting time to be a Memphis Tiger. Really pleased with our coaching staff, all the work that's gone in to prepare for the next 25 days, and what we're looking to accomplish for this season. But it's a great day, and we appreciate everybody being a part of it. I think we have guys that have played a lot of football for us that are now going into the senior part of their career, and I try not to focus so much leadership on just a class or a classification, but it's about guys that are going to impact others. And you look at guys like Patrick Taylor has done a wonderful job. You've seen a lot of growth defensively. Guys like Austin Hall, Bryce Huff, on the offensive line. I think Dustin Woodard has probably grown as much as any person, and he started every game here, I think, but his first one, and but he's done a remarkable job. You have guys that are now becoming upperclassmen. DeMonte Coxey. Brady White has had a really good offseason. T.J. Carter, I'm sure I'm leaving plenty of guys out, but it's really collectively as a whole, we have each position group has guys that are emerging to set a new standard. And that's something that's going to be important. I tell them all the time. Coaches can do everything that we can to lead them, but we don't get to step between the white lines. And when they're on the field, when there's things that happen, whether it's great success or sometimes adversity, it's their example, their response that's going to really push this team. And so that's something that's critical for us. And we got to build off the experiences that we have had. The first game is a game you're always excited about, and there's a lot of work that's going to go into it. We know we're playing a great opponent from the SEC conference, which nationally, that's probably one of the most respected conferences in the country, and we're excited about the opportunity. We're excited to be able to play at home in front of our home crowd. I'm looking forward to seeing how our football team comes together to go out there and put our best foot forward. We have an expectation to play at a very high level, but there's a lot of new faces. You sit there and we have 7 new coaches that will be the first game that we have together. We have guys that are putting themselves in emerging leadership roles or contributing roles on this team that are going to have to be prepared here in less than a month from now. And so I'm excited to see it, but we have a lot of work to get there. Well, I mean, I think camp's always critical, and whether you're returning everybody or you have new faces, this is a different team than any team that we've ever had. So to be able to get an understanding of the expectation for guys to be able to put themselves in that position, whether it's in a leadership role or a support role, just the communication of how we're all going to operate each and every day, and then especially on game day, how we're going to communicate, as a staff to players, and then players to players on the field. All those experiences that we're going to be able to create in practice have got to become routine, and that we've got to do that at a very fast pace. But every day is going to be critical for us. I think when you look at the offensive line to see which of the five are going to be the best five, the most cohesive five. I'm hopeful that as we go into it, that we're going to be able to find 7 or 8 guys that can come in and contribute to help our football team win games. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of guys vying for their role. I think the defensive backfield is one that we've been able to add some really good pieces, and to see the development of guys. I'll single out, Chris Claybrooks, I think, has maybe had the best offseason when it comes to development, growth, comfort out of position. He's a young man that changed positions, coming into last season from, never playing defensive back to move into corner. I thought you saw a step, big steps there at the end of the season, finishing in the bowl game with the pick 6. But, from January on, he's really worked to become a master of his craft. I think he's going to be able to provide some great things for us. Like I said, we have some additions there that can really help, and then the defensive front. I think you look at this last year, we've had so much youth that we've relied on our defensive line. Those guys have grown up, but also we've recruited at a really high level. And the guys that redshirted this past season that are now looking to establish themselves in the rotation or possibly become key contributors, that's going to be a fun battle to watch as well. Well, I think the biggest thing is just relentless pursuit. Putting themselves in a position to make those plays, and then capitalizing when we get a chance to get the ball in our hands, whether it's because of a fumble or because of an interception, or a ball that's thrown to us for a potential interception. We got to make sure that we're finishing those opportunities. But I like this group because I like the speed that we have on defense, and defenses that can run usually have put themselves in a better position to create takeaways. But at the end of the day, it's about that mindset, and the key for us is getting the ball, and that's something that we're gonna really put a great emphasis on. Well, I think it's our job and responsibility as coaches to put our players in a position to be successful. I really like the talent that we have, not only at the running back group, but the guys that are returning at receiver and some of the newcomers that we have. Our tight end position has got to show up big for us. But I think Patrick Taylor has showed himself to be a game-breaking back. He's showed the capabilities of being a 20 to 25 carry a game guy. I expect that to continue. But you look in the running back room, you got guys like Kenny Gainwell, who showed flashes last year in the 4 games that he played. Had a great spring game. Tim Taylor is done. I talked about Chris Claybrooks on the other side. Tim Taylor's probably had as much of a development and growth there on the offensive side as anybody. He was about 18 pounds last year. He's down to 198. He's probably one of the top 3 to 4 fastest players on our football team. A guy that I'm expecting big things from. And then you have some other younger backs. You look at Kylan Watkins, who had a great spring. Cam Fleming, Drake Clark, who's coming in as a highly touted freshman. That you walk out, you'll see him out on the field tomorrow, and he's not going to look like a freshman. I mean, he's big, he's strong. He's definitely carries himself with a great maturity. So we're excited about all those guys. You're kind of touching it. Just having guys that are talented in the backfield is one thing, but when you have guys on the perimeter, I think Kadarian Jones is somebody that we're going to count on big. Everybody knows about Coxie, but Kadarian, Pop, some of those younger receivers. Antonio Gibson is another guy that has had a great offseason, that we're expecting big things from. And then, having the 2 tight ends definitely help with Sean and Joey coming back. Both should be big contributors.
What do you want to see out of the running backs to kind of help them establish themselves more as that guy to kind of help pack it a little bit?
I think consistency. Playing running back in this offense is a lot of fun, and I mean you do so many different things when it comes to not only carrying the football but also catching the ball in the backfield. Showing that you can be reliable in protections is going to be big. But it is a talented group, and these guys they have a great skill set. We've got guys that we feel we can split out, much like what Tony Pollard did this last year. But we also have guys that if we need to use multiple backs in the backfield, that's something that we can do as well. And so it's just who's going to be consistent with their opportunities. And with the style of offense that we play, I mean, if Patrick gets 20 to 25 carries in a game, well, you still probably have another 20 to 25 left out there for other guys to seize. And that's what I'm looking forward to. This fall camp is who's going to show up day in and day out and prove to their teammates as well as their coaches that they can be counted on in one of those critical roles. Yeah, I think he's grown in every area. I think Brady did a lot of great things last year as a first-year starter. Probably as good of a first-year performance from the mental aspect at the quarterback position that I've been around. But I think that one of the things that he's done, and you got to compliment on, is the physical growth. I mean, he's 15 pounds heavier than he was last year. He's running faster. He's moving better. I think anybody that watched spring ball, you could see that the arm strength is continuing to improve. The sense of timing and getting the ball out consistently is something that he's definitely done a great job with. But also just the comfort of being the quarterback and being somebody that when he goes and talks to the receivers, the O-line, or really anybody on this football team, the respect that is shown for what he has done and the work that he's put in. So I'm expecting him to have a big jump from year 1 to year 2. But just like any other quarterback that I've ever coached, going from year 1 and year 2, and Brady's put in the time, and I think he's done a wonderful job in preparing himself for that opportunity.
You want him to be like most people thought, well, he's more of a manager last year. He managed all the in the right place, get Daryl and look at the ball, the little switch screens that you run. But you want him to be more of a team charge guy.
Well, I mean, I think you look at, and that comes up a lot. People talk about throwing the ball down the field, but when you go back, and he showed that he could do that, and we had big plays, with him pushing the ball down the field vertically last year. I want more consistency in that. I want us to make sure that in every aspect that it's something that we're doing, that we are growing, and he has to be able to put our offense in a position to be successful. Him with his mental capacity that he can carry into each and every game. Hopefully that will continue to open up some other opportunities for us. But I want every player on this team to improve in each aspect of their game. And anybody that played last year as whether as a freshman or maybe they were a junior, I want to see growth. And I think Brady has put in the work, he's put in the time, and so I hope that every part of his game is gonna see the best level as we're moving forward.
With a new DC, are you changing philosophically any defensive approach?
I think when you look at what we've done in the last few years, we've been very multiple. We're going to continue to be multiple. I think Adam does a tremendous job. He's an incredible teacher. He puts his guys in a position to play fast. One of the things that we want to make sure that we can do is that we're going to be able to handle tempo, at a very efficient way, but also be complex in what we're doing schematically to attack what we see as potential weaknesses in an offense. And so Adam is a tremendous teacher, fundamental coach, a technician in a sense of what we're asking those guys to do. But there's also a lot of complexity in how we're going to attack and what we're going to do. It's really, I think our defense is going to complement our offense because of those similarities in what we're trying to accomplish. I mean, I think it's a great compliment anytime you have guys that are recognized nationally and for those national awards at what they do. Like I tell our team, like I tell the individuals, that doesn't do anything for us. You'll come game one, we've got to go prove it each and every week and show that you're worthy to be recognized at that level. But Memphis Tiger football is really elevated itself. I think nationally. I think the individuals we've been able to recruit, the players that we have, they deserve to be recognized nationally because they're a special group of young men. They do have tremendous talent, and I know the way that they work, it's always a good feeling to see that people are taking notice.
What's the next step? I know losing back-to-back AAC championships. What's that next step for the program? How do you do that?
For us, it's continue to improve, to continue to progress. I hope that this year, my ultimate desire is to maximize the potential that we have for this team. And I believe in the young men that we've recruited. I believe the way that they've been developed. I believe in this coaching staff. But at the end of the day, we've got to control what we can control, and it's how we step on that field tomorrow, the effort we give, the focus that we put into it, and the way that we perform. I mean, that's all on us. What other people do, the way that they grow their programs. I hope that at the end of each year we're competing for championships. If we do that, and the type of football that is played, each and every Saturday that we step on that Liberty Bowl, I want it to be better. And I believe that's something that we put ourselves in a good position to do, but we got to go get it done.
Coach, you have a lot of easy regional routes you're trying to create. Northeast, Louisiana, and jumping up everything. Talk about creating better regional routes.
I mean, I love, when it comes to scheduling, I love the regional games, and I was really excited with the Arkansas series that we just got on the schedule. I think you see the Arkansas State game, that's going to come back on the schedule for the next 4 years. I think it's a great game. You look over, I believe it's the next 7 years, we have 4 or 5 SEC opponents that are going to play here in the Liberty Bowl. That's an exciting time for us. It's an exciting time for our community. But I want the regional games because I think it fits what college football is all about. And at the end of the day, we'd love to get every major brand of college football to come in and play in the Liberty Bowl, or for us, even going to play there. But I like having games where our fan base can go and travel to and be a part of the experience. And and whether that means the opponents bring a couple more people, that's just more butts in the seats. So I don't mind that as well either.